Imagine buying an ancient and very expensive Magic the Gathering booster pack, accidentally opening it, and then somehow luck-sacking your way into the most valuable card in the whole game. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, the weekend is almost upon us. I hope the day finds you well. I'm doing all right. I've been tweaking the lights and other things, so hopefully the video quality will be improving. Give me your feedback in the comments there. So today we have a tale of whimsy and circumstances that are essentially a massive, massive long shot, but good Lord, does it make for an awesome story. And it's all just been unfolding today on Reddit, and there is a lot of back and forth. There's a frenzy about this. Now, to understand the story that I'm going to tell you, you will need a little bit of background information that I'm guessing the majority of Magic players don't actually have. So what we need to do is talk about what Pac Searching is before anything, because that's going to figure heavily into this story, and if you don't know what it is, you might be a little bit confused. Okay, now unfortunately for me, I don't have on hand any boosters that are ancient enough to look the way they need to physically show you one. They're either still packed away, or I might not even have one. I think I might have like Fallen Empire, something that's not super valuable that does look the way it's supposed to. But I do have somewhat of a visual prop here, and actually this type of packaging that we're going to look at here is a result of Wizards trying to protect packs from being searchable. So what do I mean by searchable packs? Well, I mean, back in the day, Magic boosters, you could actually take a look and figure out what cards were in the booster pack without actually opening the booster pack. Now, obviously, the card that matters the most in any booster pack is going to be the rare. So searching packs is usually just used to determine what rare is in there. Although nowadays, with the value of ancient booster packs, you know what? You might have a scenario where people want to see all the cards in a given pack, not just the rares. But how it would work is, originally, the top part of these boosters and the bottom part of them were white. And this white was actually translucent if you got the right angle and the right lighting. So what happens basically is somebody will take their nail and they will push like one individual card up to take a look at it. If you push too many cards up, you won't be able to see. You have to just be able to push one card up and see it. Now that does tend to do a bit of damage to the top of the booster pack in terms of like loosening up the seal here, but you can kind of see when packs have been searched, because there are other ways for packs to take damage over time. Let's be real. We're talking about Magic booster packs that are 25-ish years old. So they've been around for decades. In terms of protecting yourself from buying booster packs that have been searched, you need to buy from reputable sources. It can be pretty difficult, right? Because the old booster boxes don't have any of that Wizard stamped plastic wrapping around it to let you know, but no one's tampered with it. So anybody could just basically re-shrink wrap an old set of like alpha or beta boosters, that kind of stuff, and you will have a situation where you can't tell. I mean, I guess if you take a look at the packs and you really know what searching is, then you'll have a chance. But let's be real, a lot of this business is done online. So you need to deal with reputable sources to make sure that you don't get hosed. Buying random loose old school boosters online feels like a guaranteed way to end up getting hosed, right? You're trusting your fellow man to not be greedy. And while there are a lot of great people in the Magic community, there are definitely some people where it's like, I don't know, you gotta be careful, right? So what happened was, there's this Reddit post made by the user VeritasQ. This is his story. So the first post that I found on Reddit talking about this says, just bought this pack of beta. Have since learned I supposedly can see through the packaging to learn what is inside without opening it. I have not been able to see anything. I've been using various light sources to try and look through the top white portion of the pack with no luck. Okay, so that's how it started. Now, according to the information that's provided through the Reddit post, when you kind of comb through it, it appears that this individual was sipping on some adult beverages, and after feeling the effects of that, decided that he was going to make this purchase of a beta booster. Now, what you have to understand is beta boosters are massively expensive. They're like $5,000. Now, when it comes to this old school kind of stuff, there's not the same sort of set prices that you have for newer stuff, right? When there are things in abundance, the market can generally come together and agree what everything is worth. This older stuff can fluctuate more in value. So a beta booster could be worth a little less than 5,000, a little more than 5,000, but that's the number we're going to use to give you a rough idea of what we're dealing with. So this person bought one random beta booster, basically taking the biggest chance in the world of getting absolutely hosed. What you need to understand is that old school Magic was really hit or miss. You had amazing, like really mega powerful cards, and you had complete garbage. Like there were some junk rares from those days that are so awful that, I mean, yeah, if you have an alpha or beta, those are like first printing, so even those printings are worth something, but worth significantly, and I mean significantly less than the booster pack is worth. So basically, what I'm trying to say is opening a booster pack like this is begging to lose your money. You're almost guaranteed to lose a good chunk of your money, where you're going to open the pack and you're going to get a card that's worth maybe a tenth of what you paid for the pack. Just opening the booster pack is basically like setting thousands of dollars on fire, right? So this dude has this booster pack, and according to the posts that he's made, he tries to search through the pack again and again with absolutely no success. Now, as a result of him trying to search the packs, remember what I said, you're pushing the cards upwards, right? So if you're pushing them up too much, you can just start to unseal the tops of the packages. Like original Magic boosters weren't packaged as carefully as current Magic boosters because nobody knew Magic was going to be this massive financial phenomenon, and we would be to the point where people are like, oh my God, I can see it's a turkey tickler. Woo, I just made 10 grand, bro. Turkey tickler isn't a real Magic card in case somebody thinks that it is. I just made that up. That's my OC do not steal, all right? So we have a scenario where basically this guy is trying to search the pack and he pushes the cards up enough times that he ends up accidentally opening the pack. Can you imagine the heartbreak you would feel in that moment, where the whole point of searching a pack is to try and figure out what's in it without opening it? In the ideal world, you're like, I own this. Let's see what's in here so I know if I want to open the booster pack or not. But then you just accidentally open it instead. You're like, oh no, there's no going back. You're not going to be able to reseal it. There's no way you're going to be able to effectively do a resealed pack for like these old school boosters. People would know immediately, and obviously don't do that as well because it's scuzzy, right? So you've got this scenario where he's sitting there like, oh no, I've opened the booster pack. And then he starts to flip through it and he finds the rare, and it's a beta Black Lotus. Black Lotus is the holy grail of Magic the Gathering. If you didn't already know, you probably do. It's the most valuable card in the entire game. Now, obviously, if you get an alpha one, it's worth more than a beta one. And if you didn't know, for alpha Black Lotuses, there are about 1,018 of them. The numbers recently got released about alpha print runs, and it's something about 1,018 alpha Lotuses out there. So those are worth more than beta Lotuses. But the point is, he got the absolute most valuable card you can get from beta. The most valuable card in all of Magic is the Black Lotus in different variations. And like an ungraded Black Lotus can get you 50 grand. An ungraded beta Black Lotus can easily net you like 50 grand, at least here in Canada. You know, depending on where you are, your currency may vary, right? So it may be more or less. For example, American currency is worth more than Canadian currency. So it might be slightly less, but it gives you a great example of buy a booster pack for $5,000, get a card worth $50,000. But the thing is that's not the norm. That's not what's normally going to happen. What's normally going to happen is you're going to buy a $5,000 pack. You're going to get a $500 card. So this guy luck-sacked so incredibly hard in this scenario. It must have been so joyous. The post that he made basically was like, I opened the pack, it has a Black Lotus. My girlfriend doesn't understand why I'm freaking out. And I love that. The idea of just being like, you're just sitting there and it's like, oh, if you've ever seen open boosters And like when he gets like a Beta Lotus or something, and it's like the, oh, oh, oh. Like, I don't even know how I would react, dude. That's so expensive that you're like, oh God. Like, I mean, he wears protective gloves, right? He'd be like, oh God, I'm getting my gross oils all over it. But you can easily, depending on the grading level of the card, you send it off to get graded, you can easily get twice what that's worth. Forget 50 grand. You get like 100 grand if it's got like the highest possible ratings. Although, let's be fair, that is pretty difficult to get because the gradings are on a number of different factors. The corners of the card, the centering of the card, which is something you don't really have much control over, right? Like old school Wizards printing was hit or miss at the beginning because the game was brand new and they were just doing what they could, right? So it's a scenario where, depending on the grading, it could be even like a much bigger windfall. Now, let's cover the obvious aspect from the other side as well, because this is an amazing story and it's hype, and I very much want it to be real. Like, we have to acknowledge this can happen. It's statistically incredibly improbable that it happened, but it's totally possible that it happened. And honestly, I don't see that much of a gain that this guy would get from making it up. I mean, aside from the whole like, woo, I got some people like arrowing me up. They're giving me upvotes on Reddit. Woo, I'm Reddit famous. Or, you know, like, there doesn't seem to be any kind of really financial incentive behind the story. So to me, it's like, is it real? I want it to be real. There are a bunch of people online who are claiming that it's not real. A bunch of experts who will, like, no matter what, they're going to be, nope, that's definitely fake. Nope, you definitely manufactured that. And that could be the case. I don't really know for sure. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that this is a genuine story, because honestly, that makes it a lot more fun. And nobody can get scammed out of this situation anyways. The guy doesn't have a pile of beta boosters where he's like, check it out, all these packs are legit and not scanned because I got a Lotus out of this. It's totally just, I bought one pack. I don't have any more packs. That's it. I got a Black Lotus. So to me, it's just an awesome story. And I thought you guys would get some enjoyment from the whole like Hail Mary level of this scenario, right? It's so statistically improbable. I mean, I've never opened anything that amazing out of a booster pack. For me, I've actually never gotten to open an alpha, beta, or unlimited booster pack. I've only opened revised onward. So I've opened, you know, things that would be exciting for people to open now, like dual hands and all the other goodness from revised. But I've never opened a truly insane old school booster. And in all honesty, I don't think I ever will, because the price is so prohibitive. Yeah, that was a massive gamble. Spending like $5 grand on a beta booster and then potentially having all of your value just go up in smoke. I mean, I don't have that kind of money, dude. That's not, I'm in still a fairly small apartment, right? It's much nicer than the last one, but it's more echoey. Oh, I wish that the sound issues were resolved. But anyways, I got foam panels on the way. We're going to get that all resolved. I do feel like overall that it's better in here now. I feel like the echoes may have diminished somewhat, although I'm sure there is still some reverb. So sorry for that, my friends. Ideally, the changes that I've made to the lighting, I know some of you guys are like, oh my God, the lighting is destroying my mind. Please fix it. So let me know how everything is looking from your perspective, because, you know, it's different when you're the person doing it. I can stare as much as I want at the editor and feel like I've got things sorted out, and it can turn out that I'm way off base. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this whole scenario in the comments below. Do you think that this scenario is real, and is it exciting to you? Do you think it's fake and you're angry and annoyed by it? Do you think it's real but just don't care? I mean, I've literally never heard, at least in recent times, of somebody just buying a beta booster and having this miraculous hit, but it totally can happen. I'm used to seeing things, like I said, open boosters where he just happens to have like, I got a whole booster box, let me just grab out the next pack. It's got to be so satisfying to get to go through all that stuff. But anyways, at this point, I've really covered everything that I had wanted to. So, names of all my glorious patrons scrolling on by. And if you want to statistically increase your chances of opening a Black Lotus out of a booster pack, then go ahead and join my Patreon, because even though I can't I can't back this up and it's completely made up. Somehow, being a patron on my channel makes you more likely to open Black Lotuses. You could even open a Black Lotus out of a pack of Kaldheim if you get on my Patreon. Now, this is in no way legally binding and totally made up, so join anyways. Anyhow, see you later, my friends. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you for the next one.